Module 4 application by Jillian Wallers, American College of Education. I have begun the creation of a module on the topic of figurative language for a 7th grade language arts class. A difficult concept due to the abstract thinking involved, careful planning and consideration must be given to the structure and sequence of such a unit. Because of the simplicity of the concept, similes are where I would begin instruction. So the first lesson would be to instruct what similes are and to work on finding examples in literature. This model is being created for a 7th grade language arts class in a suburban Chicago public school. A model that works well with this age group is the gradual release model, so I based my lesson around it. In this format, the teacher begins instruction with some modeling to the class. The students would then work on the concept together, first as a class and then with a partner or small group. Finally, the students would work on the skill independently. With middle school students, the ability to work with others should always be an option, so this lesson will include a chance for the students to cooperatively learn. The blueprint for the entire lesson can be seen here. Objectives, instructional strategy, and assessment are shown for reference and to gain a quick understanding of how the lesson would flow in a glance. For this lesson, the students and instructor would need access to computers. The instructor would use the program Hapara to share a sample text with the class through the Smart Share feature. The website Padlet would also be used later on in the lesson for assessment, when students would be able to showcase their understanding of the concept of similes as well as interact with their peers. Padlet allows users to create an interactive wall, similar to a bulletin board, for posting written comments and images. For this particular lesson, there will be 2 objectives for the students to meet. First, they will need to be able to recognize similes in a grade level text. Second, they should be able to explain the author's purpose of using similes. For the first part of the lesson, the instructor would complete the I do component of the lesson. He or she would display a text on the screen and demonstrate how to read through it and find similes. The next part of the lesson would involve the students working collaboratively with teacher assistants to find similes on their own in text. The instructor would share a text for the students to work with through the Smart Share feature on Hapara. Working with a partner while the instructor circulates the room, the students would collaboratively identify similes in the text. They would share their findings onto a Padlet bulletin board. On a subsequent day, the lesson would be extended to offer a purpose for using similes. The instructor would go back to their model text and demonstrate an analysis of the similes used. They would consider the effects of the figurative language on the reader. The students would independently continue to practice finding similes in a text and be asked to consider the purpose of them. In the last part of the lesson, the students would return to the Padlet bulletin board independently for the You Do component of the lesson. They will add on to their previous post by providing an explanation of the purpose of the similes they found in the text. Then, they would respond to at least 2 classmates' posts to agree, disagree, or add on to their explanations. Throughout the lesson, the students would be assessed through their postings on the Padlet bulletin board. First, the instructor would determine if the students were able to successfully locate similes throughout the text. Then, they would assess the explanations and responses to peers on the bulletin board to see if the students showed a higher level of understanding of the topic, including the author's purpose. This lesson serves as a strong foundation for an entire module based on figurative language. The skills learned here would transcend upon later lessons, with specific activities and pacing to be determined by the instructional designer.